Being able to fly a commercial aircraft with passengers at fighter jet speeds is very fascinating. And it was actually done with the Concorde from the 70s up until 2003 when it was retired. And it was retired because it just did not make a whole lot of sense and it wasn't profitable for airlines. And it has stopped up until about 10 years ago. This company called Boom Supersonic presented the idea of bringing it back. And they're currently developing a new aircraft called the Boom Overture, which they have already flew the prototype for it. It successfully flew about a year ago, and they are very likely going to put this aircraft in service. But we at American Airlines should not fall for this trap. We should not invest any more than we already have, as we have made 15 pre-orders already. We need to stop there because it just really doesn't make sense and it's not going to be profitable for the airline, and it's ultimately going to suffer the same fate as the Concorde. While Boom has solved a lot of the issues that were presented from the Concorde, such as the crammed seating. The seats are going to be a lot more comfortable in the Overture, but that comes at a cost of having a lower passenger capacity. They don't know exactly how many passengers the Overture is going to hold, but they're expecting anywhere between 60 and 80, where the Concorde had 100 seats for passengers. So it's not going to hold as many people, and they also expect it to consume the same amount of fuel. Now, Boom has came and said that they're using sustainable fuel for their aircraft, but they're making it seem like they're the only ones that are able to use a sustainable fuel. Now, it's not commercially available yet, but there's a company called Prometheus Fuels that has developed a sustainable fuel from taking carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and condensing it to make it into jet fuel. It's comparable to grade A jet fuel, and they're actually making it cheaper. They have figured out how to make it cheaper by producing this fuel only using solar power. So it's pretty fascinating, but it's not something that only the Overture is going to be able to use. We're going to see it in all of our aircraft here in the near future, and it will cost cheaper. The price will be much lower than grade A jet fuel. But the Boom Overture is still going to bring us problems, and the CO2 that they take out of the atmosphere will not be the CO2 that is emitted from the Overture at its cruising altitude will not be usable for this company because they take it out of the atmosphere, but this is flying in the stratosphere. And there was also a study conducted in 1995 on the Concorde, just of supersonic air travel and the emissions and the effect in the stratosphere. Now, this was actually published by NASA, or reviewed and then published by NASA. So it's a pretty credible source. And they found that nitrogen oxides are very harmful to the ozone layer, which is located in the stratosphere. And the engines from the Concorde, which was an earlier implementation of supersonic flight, emitted 7 to 9 times the amount of nitrogen oxides into the atmosphere, because they did this on the ground, but they were simulating as if they were flying in the stratosphere. But the nitrogen oxides are just much more harmful in the stratosphere, so it's flying higher in the stratosphere, and it's emitting more of these nitrogen oxides, which is going to be the same issue with the Boom Overture. So there could be a lot of environmental headaches involved with that. The EPA and equivalent agencies all over the world could put regulations and extra taxes and potentially subsidize other forms of travel to basically make airlines not use supersonic flight. And it's just really not something that we should get our hands in. We need to stop investing in the Boom Overture and continue doing what we have been doing for many years. American Airlines has turned 100 years old this year. We can make it another 100 years if we keep doing what we've been doing and trust the aircraft that have been flying. I mean, Boeing has been flying the 737, which is basically the same as all of our Boeing aircraft that we're using today since the 60s. And it has a fairly safe safety record, a known safety record, where these newer aircraft, they do not have the known safety factor value yet, where these other aircraft have many, many years of flying. And we know that it brings us profit. We know that they're efficient. We just need to stick to that.